We've been listening to Neve and API gear on records for decades, and without a doubt, both companies have produced some of the most iconic sound we can all identify with. Today I'm going to take a look at the Neve 1073 and the API 550A equalizers. So whether it's the warm, creamy sound of James Taylor or the punch and power of modern rock and metal, choosing the right EQ will help build the sound we're looking for. But just what is the difference between a 1073 and a 550A EQ? The 1073 gives us 3 bands of equalization. We get a high shelf, which is at 12 kilohertz, it's fixed, and that gives us plus or minus 18 dB, so a lot of range there. Then we get into the mid frequencies, where we have a few selectable choices for centering that peak or bell. Here we get 16 dB plus or minus. Then we get into the low frequency, which again gives us a few selectable frequencies for a shelf, plus or minus 18 dB. There's also a high pass or low cut filter, which is great for cutting out some of that rumble, but also really nice for separating out instruments like a kick drum from a bus. The 550A is also a 3-band equalizer, but with additional granular control versus a 1073. Now in the mid frequencies, we still have selectable centering frequencies for that peak or bell, but the high and low filters are selectable between shelves or peaking. So we get a lot more flexibility there. Plus, frequencies are selectable again on both the high and low. This really gives us more flexibility, more granularity, but it's not only about the controls, it's about the sound. For the comparison, I'm going to use 2 waves recreations. I have the Shep 73 on the left, and I have the API 550A on the right. And we'll use a female vocal, kind of a smooth, creamy track, and then a punchy drum bus. And I've gone ahead and preset these up to be basically the same as far as the boost cuts and the centering frequencies as much as possible. We'll listen to a little bit first without the EQ, then I'll go through both of them. You can hear the difference.
I can see the sun, been in the shadow all my life, but I finally see the light.
Okay, so that was without any EQ. Now we'll go back and forth between the 73 and the 550A.
I can see the sun, been in the shadow all my life, but I finally see the light. I give myself to you. I want to get this right. Haven't felt this in a while now. So sad when we are apart. If you leave, you break my heart. I need you to need me too. Stay with me when it's getting dark. Hold me tight, close in your arms. I want you to want me too.
The API to me is a little more forward. The 73 is a little bit smoother. Now I'll go ahead and just play it in the mix so you can hear the difference.
I can see the sun, been in the shadow all my life, but I finally see the light. I give myself to you. I want to get this right. Haven't felt this in a while now. So sad when we are apart. If you leave, you break my heart. I need you to need me too. Stay with me when it's getting dark. Hold me tight, close in your arms. I want you.
And to me, with the 550A, the vocalist sounded more in front of the mix. Sounded like they were really projecting out. There was a little more dynamic, if you will. Even though it's an EQ, their voice did sound a little more dynamic. Again, like they were standing closer on the stage. Whereas with the 73, it was like they were blended into the mix, a little bit smoother sound. And neither one is right or wrong. It just depends on what you're trying to achieve. Now let's go ahead and check out a drum bus. Okay, so I've got the 73 and the 550A loaded up here on a drum mix. Let's have a listen. So to my ears, the 550A has a little more punch, whereas the 73 has a little more presence, overall feeling of spaciousness. Now I'll go ahead and throw it into the entire mix and we can listen. Now, to my ears, in both examples, the 1073 had a more open and spacious feel, kind of like you're in a bit of a larger venue, whereas the 550A was kind of a tighter, punchier sound, almost like being in a small club. And if you heard something different, leave me a comment below. But just to give you an idea, neither one of these are reverbs or compression, but they do add a tone and a flavor to the sound. And it's not about right or wrong or better or worse. It's about finding the sound that you're looking for. And although we use plugins today, I'll be comparing them to hardware in the near future, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss that. And if you're interested in other ways to tailor and get that sound you want, check out this sound enhancement processor.